porch light turned on at exactly 9:17 p.m. Daniel noticed it the first night because he hadn't replaced the bulb. He'd just moved into the old house 2 days before. Boxes still half unpacked, the air still carrying the faint scent of dust and something older, something settled deep into the wood. The place had been cheap, suspiciously cheap, but Daniel wasn't in a position to ask questions. So when the light flicked on outside, glowing warm amber through the front window, he frowned. "Huh?" he muttered, setting down his coffee. He walked to the door and opened it. A woman stood on the porch. She was dressed strangely, not costume-like, but out of time. A soft blue dress that fell below her knees, her hair pinned back in a way he'd only seen in old photographs. She looked as startled as he felt. They stared at each other. "Hi," she said finally. Daniel blinked. Hi?" She glanced behind her, then back at him. "This is going to sound odd," she said carefully, "but where did you come from?" Daniel let out a short laugh. "I live here." Her expression shifted, confused, then disbelief. "No," she said quietly. "No, you don't. I literally just moved in." Daniel stepped forward onto the porch, and the world changed. It wasn't visible, not exactly, but the air felt thinner once he'd stepped into the space that didn't fully belong to either of them. The sounds of the night dulled. The house behind him felt farther away than it should have. The porch didn't feel like part of his home anymore. It felt like a narrow strip of reality suspended between two worlds. "Okay," he said slowly, "then who are you?" She hesitated. "Evelyn?" "Daniel," he said. They stood there, both aware something impossible had just happened. Then the porch light flickered. Evelyn's eyes widened. "Oh," she whispered, "it's happening again." "What is?" But before she could answer, the air shifted, and she was gone. The next night, Daniel waited. At 9:16 p.m., he stood by the door. At exactly 9:17, the porch light clicked on. He stepped out. Evelyn was there. "Oh, good," she said, relief softening her voice. "You're real." Daniel let out a breath. I was about to say the same thing. This time they didn't hesitate. They talked. Evelyn told him the year was 1987. Daniel told her it was 2026. Neither believed the other at first, but the porch didn't lie. They tested it. Daniel stepped backward toward the doorway, toward his house. The moment his foot crossed the threshold, the world snapped back into place. The strange stillness vanished. The porch became just a porch again, and Evelyn disappeared. He stepped forward. She returned instantly. Evelyn tried the opposite, stepping towards the yard behind her. The second she left the wooden boards, she was gone. She stepped back onto the porch. Daniel was there again. She looked down at the floor beneath them, then back at him. "We can stand here," she said softly, tapping the wood with her toe, "but this is as far as the world allows." Night after night they met at 9:17. The porch became their place. Not his, not hers, theirs. They could walk its length, lean against the railing, sit on the steps, but the boundaries were absolute. Inside belonged to Daniel. Beyond the yard belonged to Evelyn. Nothing crossed. Not objects, not time. Just them. "I wish I could show you things," Daniel said one night. "Movies, music, everything's different now." Evelyn smiled. "I wish I could show you this house the way it used to be, when it was full." Daniel glanced behind him. "It still feels empty sometimes." She studied him. "You're lonely." He shrugged. "A little." She nodded. "Me too." And slowly, without either of them saying it outright, the porch stopped feeling like a boundary. It started feeling like home. On the 23rd night, Daniel brought something with him. "I found this," he said, holding up an old photograph. Evelyn stepped closer. It was her, standing on the porch, smiling. And beside her, Daniel, or someone who looked exactly like him. Evelyn's breath caught. "That's not possible." "I found it in the attic," he said. She turned it over. August 12th, 1987. Her hand trembled. "That's my time." Daniel swallowed. "Not mine." She looked up at him, fear creeping into her voice. "Then how are you in it?" He didn't have an answer. But something inside him settled, like this had always been leading somewhere. The nights grew quieter after that, more meaningful. "Daniel," Evelyn asked one evening, "what happens if this stops?" He didn't answer right away. I don't know. Do you think we'd remember each other? I hope so. She looked at him, like she wanted to believe it. On the 31st night, the air felt wrong. I think this is the last time, Evelyn said softly. Daniel felt it too. The porch, their place, felt unstable for the first time. There has to be a way, he said. Evelyn hesitated. What if one of us leaves the porch? He frowned. We've tried that. No, she said, not stepping away, stepping through. His chest tightened. You don't know what that would do. Neither do you. If you come into my world, he said, you lose everything. And if you come into mine, she said gently, so do you. The porch light flickered violently. I'd do it, he said. I know. She stepped closer. Daniel, if we leave this place, there's no coming back. He looked around the porch, the only place they had. I don't want to stay here without you. Her eyes filled. Then come with me. He stepped forward, not within the porch, but beyond it. The moment his foot crossed past the invisible boundary, the world shattered. Sound vanished, light fractured, time folded in on itself. Then, he was standing on the porch. But it wasn't the same. The wood was newer, the paint fresh, the air brighter. Evelyn stood in front of him, solid, real. He reached for her. This time he felt her hand, warm, alive. I'm here, he whispered. You're here, she said, smiling through tears. But the world trembled. The porch flickered, old, new, both at once. Daniel turned. For a split second he saw it, his version of the house, empty, waiting. You don't belong here, Evelyn whispered. I belong with you. And I belong in my time. The truth hit all at once. The porch had been stable, but this wasn't. They hadn't crossed. They had broken something. If you stay, she said, this won't hold. I don't care. I do, she said, because if it collapses, we might lose everything, even this. Her grip tightened, then softened. Daniel, we found each other once across time. He couldn't speak. Trust that it will again. And then she let go. He was back. The porch was quiet, still, empty. The light was off. 9:18 p.m. Months passed. The porch light never turned on again. Until one day in a small antique shop, Daniel saw her. Not Evelyn, but someone who looked exactly like her. She glanced up. Their eyes met. The same impossible familiarity. Hi, she said. Daniel smiled, something steady and certain in his chest. Hi. She hesitated. This is going to sound strange, but do I know you? Daniel looked at her, and this time, I think he said softly, we're about to.